X-Army family, welcome to the channel. Before we get started, make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure you still have that check mark on that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload, because YouTube seems to be unsubscribing people and unchecking that bell. So what we're talking about today is this tweet by Donald Trump on January 13th, 2019. A lot of people found it very strange. It's getting a lot of attention. People think there might be a hidden message in it. So let's go ahead and take a look at this tweet and what it could mean. Border is eventually going to be militarized and defended, or the United States as we have known it is going to cease to exist, and Americans will not go gentle into that good night. Patrick Buchanan, the great people of our country demand proper border security now. And the part of the tweet that got everybody's red alarm bells ringing was this line: Americans will not go gentle into that good night. A lot of people felt it should have been worded differently, me included. Something like Americans will not go gently into the night. So this strange wording is what tipped everybody off that there might be a hidden message. Now, doing further research, this is from a poem. This portion right here, not go gentle into that good night. And we're going to talk about that poem. But first, let's mention Patrick Buchanan. We're not going to get into him in this video. It might be relevant to the tweet, but I don't know that much about politics, and I don't follow Patrick Buchanan, so I'm just going to look past him. But one thing I do ask of you guys, for this video, let's put our differences about Donald Trump to the side. Whether you hate him, whether you love him, let's forget about that right now. Let's maybe even back off a little bit on whether you want the wall or don't want the wall. Let's just try to figure out why he put this line from a poem in his tweet. And you guys, the first thing I did is I went and posted this tweet on my community section, and I got a ton of comments from you guys. I read through most of them, and I've hearted some of them that I wanted to talk about during this video, right? So let's look at a couple of them before we get into the poem from the tweet. First of all, 255 upvotes. They're distracting you guys from a bigger event. And when I read this comment right here, I think of World War III, grid going down, economic collapse, you know, all those scary things that could or might not happen. But one thing that came to mind is, what government agencies are closed right now because of the government shutdown? DHS is one of them, right? What did DHS do recently? Joint training with DARPA? The Hail Mary plan to restart a hacked U.S. electrical grid? Do you remember what that training consisted of? They went to Plum Island. They pretended like there was a cyber hack that shut down all the power. And they set up point A and point B. And the agents had a certain amount of time to get to point A and point B and restore power by means of backup generators. Now, they didn't say what point A and what point B were, but a lot of us assumed that they were nuclear reactors. And that's why there was a time constraint for them to get there and get the power back up before the nuclear reactors melted down. So it's that's very important. That's what I think of. During this shutdown, DHS, what happens? That's my question. What happens if the grid goes down and DHS isn't funded? Who are going to be the ones running to those nuclear reactors to make sure they don't melt down? I don't know the answer. I'm asking you guys. I don't know. But let's look at a couple more comments. This one got 123 upvotes. Something about the words, and Americans will not go gentle into that good night. Something seems strange about the wording. It might be something, it might be nothing. That's what I thought too, until I realized it was a line from a poem. There's some more with, here's 128 upvotes. I agree 110%. And yes, we the people will not go down without a fight. Hooah, right? I'm all for that, right? I'm not giving up. Anyway, there's a couple more. The wall is a distraction from something very bad our government is planning against we the people. I don't know. It remains to be seen, but that's definitely on my mind too. Same thing again here. Americans will not go gentle into that good night. Something is wrong with that wording. Is a threat. Wake up. Alarm bells should be going off in people's heads right now, because that wall, as good as it will be at keeping people out, will also be quite convenient at trapping people in. If you haven't already, prepare now. It's a great comment right there. This is a huge distraction staged by both parties. You might be right. Remains to be seen. Wait a minute. Did he really say Americans will not go gently into that good night? Isn't that very odd language? I believe it is too. I believe it's very odd that he used that poem to begin with. Here, let's read one more and then we'll go over to the poem. All right, this comment's from Savage. The sad truth is most Americans will go gently into that good night. They are too fearful of breaking the law. At some point, if you want to stand up for our rights and preserve American history and protect our future, people will have to break the law or suffer silently as they move with the herd of sheep. That's a great comment. That's a great comment right there. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the poem now. Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas, 1914 to 1953. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave, by crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight and learned too late they grieved it on its way, do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Now, the first thing that struck me as I read through this poem is to rage against the dying of the light. I find it odd he used a poem all about the light. Why? Well, because the NWO, they're occultists. 1,000 points of light, illumination, the morning star, Lucifer. That's what comes to mind when I read a poem that every other line says rage, rage against the dying of the light. Fight to preserve that light. Maybe I'm looking too deep into it. I don't know. You guys are going to have to let me know. Now, I looked up. Here's also what stood out in this poem. Grave men near death. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Who's near death? I mean, I get it that he's saying America's going to die if we don't put up this border wall. I get that. But I think it's deeper than that. I think he knows something we don't. Who's near death? Is he near death? Are Americans near death? I think he knows about something specific that's gonna happen. I don't know if this is a warning. I don't know what this is, but there is a hidden message in this tweet. Let's look up the meaning of the poem. It is a strong invocation for us to live boldly and to fight. It implores us to not just go gentle into that good night, but to rage against it. Even at the end of life, grave men are near death. The poem instructs us to burn with life. The poem's meaning is life-affirming. Grave men are near death. Who are the grave men near death? Is it Donald Trump? Is it America? Is it Americans? Who are the grave men? So, this is as far as I've broke down this tweet. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know if you think I'm headed in the right direction. Let me know what you think this tweet could mean. Let me know even if you think that I'm going way too deep into it and this is just a rally, a war cry to the American people. I really want to know what you guys think. So I appreciate your thumbs up. If you enjoyed this video at all, please smash the thumbs up button. And don't forget to leave me a comment and let me know what you think.
John X Army, signing out from the belly of the beast.